embarrassing for Mexican boxing. So that kind of things. And in front of me, he said, "No, I respect his career. I respect he and this and this." And but that's I hate that motherfucker because of that.
What's going on, you guys? So, former pound for pound king and the superstar of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, as we know, got a fight coming up September 17th with Gennady Golovkin. But Canelo Alvarez, something that your boy Bushido mentioned after his fight with Dimitri Bivol, is Canelo on the decline? And I mentioned it a few other times and probably a couple of other videos prior to after that fight. And it was something that I noticed about Canelo in that fight against Dimitri Bivol. He just looked sluggish. He looked lethargic. He just didn't look as explosive or as strong as he normally does. Now, it could be the fact that he was at a higher weight class, but he was at that weight before, and he looked a lot better against Sergey Kovalev than he did against Dimitri Bivol. But DAZN, allegedly, right? And like I said before, you guys, Twitter, it's that's where the scum of the earth hangs out, right? But you can also find some good information. And it was a video, I guess, that DAZN took it down. Canelo not looking necessarily good, right? This was a few weeks ago, allegedly. And, you know, we've seen these guys do this before, where Errol Spence Jr., we've seen it happen. Going up to his fight with Manny Pacquiao, they released some footage. Errol Spence didn't look good at all in this footage. He just didn't look good. And they took it down. But fans, of course, they got a hold of it. And it's the same thing with this. Canelo Alvarez didn't necessarily look good here. Somebody on Twitter, man, they on the job. And he says this: DAZN deleted this a few weeks ago, but holy shit, he's not looking very good at all. He's struggling to hit a speed bag. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on here? You know, what's going on with Canelo Alvarez, you guys? This is something that this is why I was asking, is he on a decline? Now, I understand that guys have bad days, you know, and they probably likely wouldn't show these guys at their best moment, at their worst moment on camera. They tend to show their best moments, but this don't necessarily look good. And this kind of lines up to what I've been talking about. Canelo Alvarez is what, 32 years old now? 32 years old isn't necessarily old. It's not old at all. However, Canelo Alvarez has a shit ton of professional fights. A shit ton. Dude been fighting since he was 15 years old. Professional, right? Was it 15 or 16? Yeah, he's been fighting professional since he was 15, 16 years old. And fighting grown men. Training camp after training camp after training camp after training camp after training camp. A lot of fights under his belt. This is why I asked, is he on the decline? Not to mention the knees and everything else. You know, Canelo Alvarez has known that he has like a bad knee or something like that. And, you know, of course, now fans going to speculate if Canelo doesn't look as good as he normally does. They're going to speculate that it has something to do with the PEDs, right? This is what fans are going to speculate, right? But of course, that could all just mean nothing, right? There's a lot of golfing footage here, a lot of golfing photos. You know, Canelo's a golfer now, so you know, doing things outside of boxing, but just raises the question. He just didn't necessarily look good in that clip. He didn't necessarily look good in the Dimitri Bivol fight. How will he look in the fight against Gennady Golovkin? Right? How would he look in the fight against Triple G, a third fight? One don't expect Triple G to look the same neither. He's in his 40s. But Canelo Alvarez is closer to 30 than he is to 40. Triple G is 40. We're gonna see how Canelo looks in this fight, though, right? He could show up and show out and feel comfortable and feel great at 168. But we've seen what happened in the past when fighters move up and down in weight, up and down in weight. We've seen it happen to the great Roy Jones. His punch resistance wasn't the same. His timing wasn't the same. Everything was thrown off. Everything was thrown off for Roy Jones. Now Canelo Alvarez is going back down to 168. Well, he's the undisputed champion nonetheless, but yeah, man, people on Twitter do their job. People on Twitter, man, you know, they caught this clip. I'm not sure many people saw it. It can mean everything or it can mean nothing, okay? You know, I don't expect these guys to necessarily look perfect or spectacular each night out. However, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think about something like this? He's looking really lethargic. I'm not sure why it's freezing up like that, but yeah, man. Canelo Alvarez been doing this thing for a long time. And if we're honest, the Eddie Renoso camp in general hasn't necessarily been looking good as of late. You know, those guys, they you know, they've been on a losing streak. You know, Eddie Renoso went from one of the top trainers in boxing to now, I'm not sure if he's still considered that. You know, a lot of the guys left that camp since last year or the year before last, and a lot of guys have been taking, some guys take losses. Some guys cut their losses, right? Other guys looked at somewhat different after Oscar Valdez got busted for drinking that tea. They looked at different. They didn't look the same. So we're going to see how Canelo Alvarez looks against Gennady Golovkin. Still should be a good fight. It's a grudge match. Canelo Alvarez got great disdain for Gennady Golovkin. He seems to really hate this guy. I expect Canelo to still put up his best performance, even if he's not at his best. I mean, it could be a situation to where Canelo's starting to burn out. You know, he may have peaked out at his prime some years ago, and now he's somewhat on a decline. I could be wrong. I could be right. But I really paid close attention in that Dimitri Bivol fight. Paid close attention. I watched these guys' body language, and I try to compare them how they looked in previous fights. And I know you're only good as your last fight, and I know each night out you're not going to be, you may not perform as you did your last, but I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see how Canelo looks. I guess we could compare Canelo for some years ago. The Canelo Golovkin fights was so long ago now. It was like 5 years ago, right? Since that last fought, something like that. That was a while ago. Canelo was a much younger guy back then, and now he's in his 30s, but he got a lot more fights under his belt. Just life under his belt. You know what I'm saying? As a 30-something-year-old man now. So, yeah, man, we're going to see how Canelo Alvarez looks. We're going to see if he still got his explosiveness back. That's one thing Canelo Alvarez was known. He was an explosive puncher. He was pretty explosive dude. He was pretty quick with the upper body movement. The head movement. We're going to see if he still has that when he goes back down to 168 against his rival, Gennady Golovkin. But, yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys. I don't know. Is Canelo on the decline? The video got released. They took it down for a reason. You know, that's just what it is, you guys. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.